sprint. So before I Okay, let me quickly introduce our organization to you. AHA Behavioral Design, or AHA BD, is the first end-to-end and integrated solutions behavioral design agency in the Philippines. The organization aims to scale behavior change that serves humanity through scaling simple behavior solutions in low resource setting grounded on a community lens. The organization uses applied behavioral and decision sciences, especially behavioral economics, to embed social norming behaviors in communities and companies through social marketing programs. And so far, we have nudged 3.9 million Filipino learners towards better behaviors, working with both government and non-government organizations or agencies. So, how did we ensure that the solutions and innovations in health that we introduced would stick? How did we ensure that these are easily accessible and immediately integratable within the community health setting? It was because we developed the Behavioral Design Sprint, or B Design Sprint as we call it, a pioneering approach that enables behavioral and cultural insights, or BCI, to be turned into practical health promotion solutions in the communities that we've worked with so far. This method involves barangay health workers, or BHWs as we call them, or they are the village's health workers, and caregivers, all of whom are not familiar with Bisay and heuristics at first, via a learning by doing workshop. The sprint preserves the richness of the insights while providing a design and learning process that translate them into actionable, easy to understand strategies that resonate with the community's daily realities. And we will be illustrating this in the following slides. So there are just two main parts of this sprint. First, it's uncovering critical moments, and second, it's the sprint proper itself. Now, going to the first main part of the sprint, the uncovering of critical moments, this is to ensure that the process is grounded on the insights gathered by the project team. This is to ensure that the insights that was gathered prior to the activity is aligned with the overall objectives and behavioral targets of the project. For the second part, the design sprint proper, this provides the community the opportunity not just to expand their knowledge on the issue at hand, but also be a part of creating innovative solutions for health. In the next two slides, I'll be sharing with you the overall activities of what we call as the Be Design Sprint. So the sprint proper starts with giving the participants an overview of the design sprint process, then providing them with a design brief to what needs to be crafted a solution on. So typically, this brief is a short presentation with digestible information about the issue and what the team has discovered and are focusing on so far. That would be followed by Cuenta. It's a local language that translates to count, wherein the participants are encouraged to ask questions, clarifications, and then listing down their initial ideas. The next step involves leveling up, wherein they take their strongest ideas from the previous step to create variations, and which will be followed by Cuento, in which they will select their best ideas and turn them into a 4-panel storyboard. From there, they'll have rounds of votation for the concept of the prototypes that they deem promising. So to further illustrate how the B design process was done, let's take the case of a project that the team has worked on fairly recently. So this is to create innovative health solutions to combat vaccine hesitancy for measles, mumps, and rubella, as mentioned before, MMR. The team traveled to 6 different target areas to conduct this sprint. And to adhere to our thrust towards democratizing behavioral science and, of course, creating integratable social innovations, our participants range from different community health workers, so from BHWs, midwives, barangay nutrition scholars, to caregivers themselves. And these pictures are snippets of our visits in each of those target areas. So our participants for this sprint were given a simple brief from the behavioral and cultural insights gathered by the project team prior to the sprint. And for this case, these are the four critical moments identified in caregivers' journey towards vaccination, as well as the associated enablers and barriers for their journey. They were also provided with the initial segmentation of caregivers, which were as decision makers and implementers. This was also in consideration of the existence of household with generational skip, like grandparents and child only within the household, and with other different types of families like our LGBTQA plus communities families, extended families with non-relative and relative guardians, among others. So the community representatives provided information to questions that were asked of them when it comes to program development. And this time, they're part of the process and making a difference and creating the solutions themselves. They used a storyboard template in which I'll be sharing more about later, and will be giving you a glimpse of how the storyboard is going to be filled out. And instead of simply asking them what they want and need, we activated community representatives into coming up with their own solutions. Ultimately, providing a simplified board proved to be essential in helping to guide them through the ideation process. They were able to craft behavioral solutions that they believe addresses the enablers and barriers to the vaccination journey of the caregivers of their communities. And as you can see in the screen, these are sample storyboards that they were able to come up with. So later on, you'll be making one of your own. And I hope you'll be excited to take part of that activity. Eventually, these caregivers produced 79 prototypes. They were grateful for the experience and learnings and finding this behavioral process valuable in targeting the behavior change in MMR pediatric vaccine uptake in the nation. So some participants even expressed strong belief that the solutions that they crafted work for their respective communities. And these are some of the testimonials from the participants expressing how they were able to learn from the experience themselves itself, and particularly around learning and realizing the power to generate solutions themselves for their own communities. Now we'll be letting you go through our VidaSign Sprint Express version to create innovative solutions for health. So are you ready? Can I get a quick show of hands to show that you're ready to go through the express version of our process? Can we have a react? And I saw some participants raising hands as well. Thank you for that. So to continue, be sure to take down notes for this activity so it will be easier for you to create your prototypes by the end of the session. So the following personas are what we'll be considering in creating the solutions for. So if you can recall, the first part of the Beta Science Sprint is really uncovering critical moments and who are our target audience for creating the solution. So first up, our main target segment is Mary Grace. Mary Grace is a vaccine hesitant caregiver. In terms of awareness, Mary Grace is already aware of the vaccine campaigns through house-to-house work of our barangay health workers, and also aware that she needs to complete pediatric vaccines like MMR for her children. However, her hesitancy is rooted in hearing issues about vaccines through other channels like social media, particularly Facebook, and through experiences of other mothers in the neighborhood. She also faces various challenges in getting her child vaccinated, such as the fear of negative side effects, social norms, specifically her community perception of vaccination, and hassle factors in her routine that affects her ability to go to the scheduled vaccination. And there are two key identified considerations for us to help her. So first would be planning. Will Mary Grace be able to plot out what she needs for the visit to the health center? Next would be normalizing side effects. Are these side effects grave? Is it normal for her child to experience these side effects at all? And given that, we'd want to support Mary Grace to be able to regularly visit the health center for her child's vaccination during her recommended schedule. So, what are the behavioral strategies that we can apply to help her? So for this exercise, we prepared for first would be streamlining the process. How can we help plan for the health visit and take into consideration what needs to prepare? Saliency talks about how can we make it easy for Mary Grace to be reminded of the vaccination schedule. Next would be social norming, wherein we try to answer the question of how we can showcase more positive stories of other caregivers to address their concerns, especially on side effects. And lastly would be appeal to altruism. How can we highlight the benefits of vaccination, not just for themselves, but to the people around them, specifically their close family members and community? So in the next 4 slides, you might want to tune in. We'll be showing you sample pegs of how these behavioral strategies can be applied in making your own social innovations for health. So first would be reducing the friction. So this is by simplifying the steps towards the vaccination day. In the slide illustrations, these are making use of window-like flap countdowns. And under that flap, you can actually see simplified information for certain days towards vaccination. Another sample is making the reminders more salient by placing them in easy to access places such as at the back of the doors, at the back of the TV, or in the living room, or even in the dining area if that's the most accessible place in the household. Here, another sample is normalizing side effects through different types of messaging and equipping caregivers with the step-by-step instruction on how to care for their child in the event that they do get sick. And lastly, for this sample, it's highlighting social benefits as an appeal to altruism, particularly around equating the behavior to vaccinate their children with being a responsible parent or caregiver for that matter. Our next persona is Mom Rosie, as a supporting audience for this exercise. And Ma'am Rosie is a dedicated community health worker. She is highly familiar with the residents of her barangay. Though with little to no pay or agency, she takes her role very seriously and is determined to ensure the health and well-being of her community. She's often overwhelmed with other health initiatives and finds it challenging to prioritize MMR vaccination drives. She also has limited knowledge, resources, and follows traditional methods of service delivery. One of that is something that we've mentioned before, which is how the caregivers like Mary Grace are able to get information, which is via house-to-house visits from community health workers such as Mom Rosie. So where do we go from here? So usually we go to our what we call innovations stations. Well, that's what we usually call the groups that we form during the sprints. However, for this express version, our colleague Darren will be sharing with you in the chat the link to the template that you will be using for this exercise. And once you open that link, you'll be redirected uh, to a different web page prompting you to make a copy of the PowerPoint. So please do so, since that is what we'll be using for this exercise. So this is the start officially of the sprint pop proper, where you will be creating a behaviorally informed idea to support Mary Grace to regularly visit the health center for her child's vaccination during the recommended schedule. There will be 2 sub-activities in the sprint proper: ideate and create. Normally, we ask participants to simulate the prototype that they'll be creating, but in the interest of time, of course, we'll be asking some of you to share your storyboards instead. I'll be giving additional instruction regarding that later. Now, I've been mentioning prototypes for the past minutes, but what is it really? Basically, prototypes in the context of our organization are potential solutions to achieve the target behavior. They apply behavioral insights and concepts that can make them more effective than traditional interventions. They are typically placed in the target audience environment, such as Mary Grace for this exercise, to or received by the target audience to be reminded of, encouraged, and make it easy for them to practice the behavior. So there are four types of prototypes ranging from tiny habits, physical, digital, and structural. For this exercise, we'll just be dealing with the first three since structural or policy level prototypes would need more context. To give you some examples, first, for the tiny habit, it is essentially generating a habit by attaching small behaviors for existing routines. In this example, it's attaching the washing of hands behavior to an existing routine, which is leaving the room. A physical prototype, on the other hand, is something that you can see and touch even here. If you can recall, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, which was not so long ago, we can see a sample of a physical prototype to ensure social distancing within with the square boxes as shown in the picture. A digital prototype is delivering a behavioral prompt through digital means. So this can be in the form of a chatbot or as simple as an alarm for reminder. So the Google Calendar notification that reminded us to be here tonight to attend this event tonight is a good example of that. So before we start with our hands-on activities, we have here our 5 behavioral design sprint guidelines. So first off, have faith. So trust in yourself that you can bring out the best ideas. Let your imaginations fly. Do not be limited by conventional ideas or existing interventions, but again, stay grounded on the design frame for the project, which we will also be sharing later on, so that you have additional guidance as you do the first part of this activity. Next would be collaborative and participative. It's all for one or none at all. So be open to insights and suggestions and also be free to ask questions later on. This will be more applicable to the sharing session that we'll have towards the end of the activity. Don't aim for perfection. So the 70-30 practice, the 70% has clear parameters, but the remaining 30% are areas we need to work on. So our goal as a team is to bring out further ideas for more testing. And lastly, of course, enjoy. Simply enjoy and have fun in the process. And we do hope that you will be experiencing that for this session. So are we ready? Can I ask again for a like, react as affirmation that we're ready to start? I can see some raising hands. How about the others? Can we get a raised hand? All right, I see some participants. Thank you, Lynette, for chatting that you're ready. All right, so thank you for your engagements. Let's start with ideate. Please go to your copy of the template that we have shared with you. And for the next 5 minutes, think about the insights that you feel that will be most helpful and useful for you in creating possible solutions for the challenge for this session. It might be around the characteristics of Mary Grace that you are trying to help, the challenges that they face with regard to the challenge itself for this afternoon, for this session, rather. And more importantly, take into consideration the behavioral insights that you can use to create the possible solutions. Select the key insights that you would like to prioritize. So, earlier we showed you 4 behavioral strategies. You feel free to use just one. You don't need to apply everything for this session, but it's giving you a glimpse of what possible strategies, behavioral strategies that you can employ in making your solutions. So for ideate, let's not focus on presentation yet. So let's steer away from the creatives first, but let's rather focus on exhausting possible ideas that you have. So this is a matter of drafting initial ideas such as chatbots, whether that's going to be a chatbot, a website, a social media campaign. It can be a physical prototype as well, such as handouts, booklets, or even flyers. So again, these are just sample prototypes. Feel free to, if you have more ideas on how to go about the challenge in helping Mary Grace to have her child vaccinated in the center, that would be welcome, and feel free to add that to your list in the template that we gave you. So we'll be flashing in the screen together with the timer the pertinent information that you'd need for this exercise. So that, of course, you'll have additional guidance. And if you're okay with that, let's start our ideation now. So see you after 5 minutes. Hi everyone. It seems like time's up. So no worries if you feel like you're not done yet or you're having trouble in accessing the template. Feel free to message our other colleagues, Darren and Rachel, to help you out. This time around, we'll work on the four-panel storyboard. Feel free to use your phone or laptops to search for samples or inspiration online for possible execution and ideas for your prototypes. And of course, do not forget to give your prototype a catchy title later on to capture the whole idea. So, to further expound on the four-panel storyboard, it actually provides the basic logic and idea behind your prototype. In the discovery panel, the leftmost, as you can see in your screen, you'll be copy-pasting images or pegs of how you think the target audience will receive or come across the prototype and what the prototype is. So it can be, you can detail here if it's a digital prototype, a physical prototype, how can it be discovered? Is it through social media? Is it through other people handing out physical prototypes? So this is where you'll detail those information. In the usage panel, you'll be answering the how, when, and where will this prototype be used, while the supporting activities or other activities that you feel will enable and ensure that the prototype will be used by the target audience. You can involve here our supporting audience, if you can recall, Mom Rosie, as the community health worker in Mary Grace community. So what and how do you think Mom Rosie can help Mary Grace to help Mary Grace vaccinate her child in the center. And the last panel is the post usage, wherein you will identify what benefits, positive changes, or valuable lessons will result from using the prototype. So some rules for the storyboarding. First, make it self-explanatory. Include explanations on the side if needed. Better to have detailed, thoughtful, and complete ideas rather than just pretty looking ones. So as mentioned, let's focus less on the creative but more on the functionality of the prototype that you will be creating. Words matter, so avoid using filler words like text goes here. Include actual copy that you imagine going into your prototype. So by copy, I mean the actual text or message or even the idea of a message of what you want to be there in your prototype and not just artificial Lauren ipsum, if you get what I mean. So for create, you'll be given 10 minutes to take your strongest idea and fill out the four-panel storyboard. Again, can I ask for a like, react to check if we're okay to start with our create part? So I see some participants raising their hands, and with that, if the rest are still not there, or if you're stuck with the ideate part, don't worry about that. You can still continue it during here in the create, just to make sure that when the 10 minutes is up, at least you have a rough draft of your four storyboard panel. Okay, so your 10 minutes starts now. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi everyone. So time's up. Your 10 minutes is up for our create portion. Congratulations on completing this express version of our Be Design sprint and creating your own prototypes. And with that, we'd love to hear from you and your experience. Can we ask for a few volunteers to share their work? You can either screenshot your four-panel storyboard and send it in the chat if that's possible for you. Or you can also provide us with the link of your PowerPoint and we'll be the one to flash it here. If you also want, if you're a bit shy to share your four-panel storyboard at the moment, or if you feel like you need more time to finish it beyond this session, you may also share your key takeaways instead or aha moments as well. So feel free to raise your hand or give us an indication that you'd want to share your work with us. Hi, Anne. Thanks for that. Our colleague our colleague has informed me that John Munoz was raising his hand earlier. So John, would you like to share something with us as we're waiting for Anne to copy paste the link of her presentation in the chat? Here we go. Can I just ask Rach to flash the re- to flash Anne's work for us here? Hi Amel, sure thing. You can share a picture of your storyboard. So thank you so much for the volunteers that we have now. For the rest of the participants tonight, can I get a short reaction, like a raise of hand, if you were able to at least complete your storyboard? Don't worry, we won't call you against your own will, but just a sense check for us if you were at least able to do the storyboard for this session. I see a couple of participants raising their hand. Thank you. Hi, and thanks for your persistence. Rach will try to address that. Hi, Rach. So is this Anne's work? Am I right? It's okay, Anne. Feel free to unmute yourself and share about your work so far.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Oh my
Thanks.
goodness, this is terribly embarrassing. So this is me like barely caffeinated. Um, so I think the way I did this probably when I probably idea two is the actual prototype. Like that's the thing. And the idea one is like how you would execute it. So if you go to the next one, like I was basically saying some kind of way to address the questions like an FAQ, and that could be either through a an app or a website or an actual like pamphlet. But so how will the target audience receive it? I thought it would be really helpful to get some sort of social gathering, and that could be like I don't know if it's coffees or some sort of social gathering where it feels less threatening, and have somebody who is possibly, I don't know, well known in the community, respected in the community, I don't know, popular, something that has actually um, had their child vaccinated, and have them there sort of as an example, and engage in some conversations. So that's one way if you had a coffee, but then also you could just make it available in public places. Like I said there, if it's physical, it could be a pamphlet or it could be a QR code to an app or a web page. Um, and then I don't know if this is making sense, but usage, it could be used as a takeaway so they can access it on their own, or they could share it with people and say, look what I have. Here's some facts on this, or here are some answers to questions. Um, then what are other ways that will ensure that it's used? I was trying to think of, okay, get somebody who's a TV or a personality, um, who endorses it as well. So they kind of want to be like that person. Also, maybe they could be some sort of incentive attached to it. I'm just thinking out throwing spaghetti at the refrigerator here just to see if it sticks. But if there's any kind of like free something or other that a business would say, sure, if you do this, you get a free coffee at our place, or you get a free ice cream cone or something. I don't know. And then the benefits are that hopefully it normalizes things, makes it more acceptable, and of course, then that leads to higher vaccination rates and better health. So that's it.
Thanks, Anne, for someone who claims that she's barely caffeinated when doing this. This is a really good and interesting output. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, for the usual sprints though, we really encourage actually, aside from giving descriptors, we really encourage having images there. But we understand, like given the time and given that it's fairly new to you, I assume as well. This is already a very substantial output. So thank you for sharing, Anne. So what I can see here, it's a coffee table kind of thing. And from there the conversation would go, having people to, if ever, have this prototype there, and then them having this taking it away, so it's like coffee on the go, MMR, information on the go. So that's what I'm hearing from your idea that you presented here tonight. So thank you so much for sharing, Anne. Really great output so far. So for our next volunteer, was it Amel or Andrew? So while we're waiting for one of our colleagues to share again another output of one of our volunteers, so would just like to encourage other participants to share their thoughts as well in the chat box. And also feel free to just give your initial ideas if you're really shy to share your four panel storyboard, just like what we're hearing from Amel. So Amel, I'll just read this out loud. Amel is sharing. I was thinking about a physical cool agenda that she can put on the refrigerator and see it on a daily basis, so she can learn about the benefits of vaccines. And for post usage, she can share it with other mothers. That's really interesting. Mel, this is also the first time that I'm hearing this kind of concept about refrigerators. So to those who have refrigerators on their households, well, I get where you're coming from. It's the saliency working here, something that they can easily see on their houses, on their households, and something that they use often. So for those who have access to refrigerator and have refrigerator in the houses, that's a really cool idea. Thanks, Amel, for sharing that. So would just like to confirm, is this Andrew's output?
Yeah, I hope you can hear
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope you
Hi,
can hear
Andrew.
me.
Thank you so much. I'll be giving the floor to you for some short explanation of your output. Thank you.
So I was thinking from mobile format that can integrate some videos, so you see models, and the numbers, the good maybe the advantages,
Andrew, I'm so
personalized.
sorry. Hi. Hello. Sorry to cut you off. It's you're just coming it a bit muffled. So, um, is it possible for you to like search for a spot that we can probably hear you better, or make your voice a little louder for us to hear you better?
Okay. Mm,
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, definitely better. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Oh yeah, so I was just thinking around quickly, maybe developing an app that maybe has
Is
various sections, and some of them would maybe address some of the questions that mothers, people pretty much have towards vaccination. This could be even some of the questions around side effects. Yeah. And at the same time, once you have another section that has let's say a platform where health providers would be present, and as well as the clients, and they would interact. Yeah. So bringing in much engagement and making sure that all their questions are answered. I think that would help them um, in terms of, yeah, answering the questions as well. The third thing that would help, I feel like, reminding mothers would be having another section that once they've registered and placed their details, including maybe the vaccination schedules, it will remind them. I think I got it off um, from that discussion to say, once we have a Zoom meeting, we have all those constant reminders. Oh, your meeting starts in 10 minutes, or your meeting starts in an hour. So have that sort of at least section as well. But yeah, it's just an idea of an app, making sure that all this information is readily available at the fingertips of mothers and anybody who's pretty much caring for a child who's going through that vaccination stage. So yeah, I hope with interviews to, you know, more like disseminate information about the app. At the same time, you have radio engagements. You have those constant discussions with the health workers and the community members would ensure that it's really human-centered. And yeah, hopefully the output would be increased vaccine uptake.
Thanks for sharing this, Andrew. So what I'm taking away also from what you have shared is your idea is it's an interactive digital platform for information dissemination and of course reminders of the schedules. So this is like a digital prompt for the caregivers to have their child vaccinated and also be able to get the necessary information to address their fears around the side effects and all the other pertinent information that they would need. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Andrew. And also, you mentioned about community collaboration and client feedback further to in refining the prototype. So that's a really good idea in relation to the prototype that you have mentioned. Thank you. And I think with the time that we're having right now, we would but first thank you so much for all our volunteers and to those who have of course engaged with us in their own way. Um Thank you so much for your generosity, for your time, for the ideas that you have shared with us on this session. You can follow us. So before we end, we'd like you to follow us in our socials as shown in the screen. But we at AHA-BD are also very passionate about advocating about social and behavior change, or SBC, through the use of applied behavioral and decision sciences, especially behavioral economics. We'd love to share with you Kagawi, a quick, easy, and monthly digest on SBC and practical applications of behavioral science in the real world. So you can subscribe now by scanning the QR code on the screen. And we'd like to formally close this workshop, of course, by thanking Sihi for this opportunity to hold this session and to share this learning activity with you. And we'd also like to reiterate that sustainable positive change really requires innovative solutions that are deeply rooted in the unique context of a community and co-designed with the people that they serve. By understanding these specific cultural nuances, beliefs, and behaviors of a community, we can tailor interventions that resonate on a personal level. This context-based approach ensures that solutions address the true barriers and drivers of health behaviors, making them more likely to be adopted and sustained over time. Moreover, involving the community as active partners in the design process fosters a sense of ownership and empowerment. And this is the ethos behind the behavioral design sprint that bridges behavioral science and community wisdom to create impactful, context-specific health interventions. By galvanizing our local health workers and caregivers for the context of our exercise and of our case, behavioral design sprint ensures that solutions are not only effective but also sustainable as they are born from and nurtured by the community itself. So again, we'd like to thank everyone for being here in this session and for sharing your time and ideas with us on behalf of our team. We wish you a good day ahead of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary, for delivering such an exciting session, and thank you, Rachel, thank you, Darren, for the whole coordination work. And our next session will be the same time next Tuesday, and we will glad to have Dr. Adriana and Aglisica from Columbia to give you some talk about embedding social innovation to strengthen the health system and leadership, and they will give you some talk, also give you some case studies in Columbia. So I really look forward to our next session. So yeah, at last I would ask if each of you could open your video, and so we can have a group photo together. Yeah. And before we end our today's session. So yeah. So if it's okay, could you open your video and we can have a photo together? Yeah, but for the webinar, I'm not sure how to uh, record our participants. Yeah, for the webinar. Do you have any suggestion on it? Because this is a webinar mode, so it seems that we can only have the group photo of the panelists and cannot let our participants to open their video. So yeah. So let me take a photo. So Darren, would you want to take some photo from your side?
Sure, let me take it. I also can turn on my camera, but I think it's okay. All
Okay,
right, 1, 2, 3.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next week the same time. And yeah, and next session. And thank you for joining our today's session. Thank you very much. Have a good day and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.